Man, if I
Schmidt.
came that many times, I'd be non-functional.
Hello, soundboard.
God damn it!
I can't believe he interrupted the 619.
Manny?
Yeah.
Wait, that's a reference that I'm not getting. and you know a server just got the at. That's great.
God.
That's great. Yeah, she's not doing great. I need to put her on a better machine. She's chugging along with this is it's a laptop from, I want to say, like 2008, with a really subpar AMD processor. I can't upgrade this laptop because the AMD processor and the AMD graphics card, this laptop has a graphics card that came with it, are integrated. So I can't upgrade anything. It was just built for this model of laptop, and that's it. There's no upgrade available. So yeah,
so
I need to.
It's just you have to upgrade the entire laptop.
Right. It's basically I have to take a sledgehammer to this laptop and then throw it out and then buy a new laptop, and that'll be the upgrade. My other laptops, on the other hand, were built with Intel chipsets, so easily upgradable. No integrated graphics card in any of them. And they run smooth as butter to this day. Yeah, I'm legitimately fucking impressed at the laptop that I bought in, again, I bought all these at the same time, so it was 2008, maybe 2009. I'm really impressed that one of those machines can run, like, 4K video and not stutter. That's just stupid.
Hello there.
Oh, God.
Zero.
I thought
found the soundboard.
I thought Fluffy was going to join us for a second. You bastard, you got my hopes up.
Oh, I really thought he was going to do the arm up the nuts.
All right, this is... Yeah, all right. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll return in a brief moment and get Twitch set up.
Alrighty.
Don't use ethnic slurs this time.
What?
There goes the Spanish announce desk.
Nope, they don't have one of those on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, that's just
This
their
is just a
desk?
standard announce desk. Oh, shit!
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
That's not the link that I wanted to click. What the fuck's wrong with you? Let's go. Let's fucking go! Right,
so there's okay. So I see what they're doing. They're setting up the backlash match between Dominic and Damian Priest, and then Ray and Bad Bunny are going to team up.
Yeah, but like Damian Priest is so much bigger than
everybody else.
Both of them combined.
That's why I'm getting a ton of fucking at mentions right now. Rod chose this exact moment to start a DM conversation with me.
Hello there.
Pretty much. How you doing, Masami?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
Good. So guess what, Masami?
What did you do?
There's a soundboard in Discord now.
Oh yeah,
it's just awful. Yeah, I had it sound. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chonkwij Podcast. My name is Andrew Lloyd Squitter. I'm joined tonight by Omega Con Squit, Pun Lord Mesquit me, and that dude. Your name is just change your name from whatever to God fucking damn it.
Squitson?
Yeah, I don't respect your use of...
At least you're musical tonight, Doc.
I am. Did you
Are you
know...
gonna sing us some cats?
Did you know that hack Andrew Lloyd Webber was accused of plagiarizing, I think it was Mendelssohn for part of Jesus Christ Superstar? I forget which noted composer he was accused of ripping off. I don't know.
Wait,
He's
but
not...
like, you can't plagiarize as a composer. That's an homage.
Exactly. That's what
Like, that's
that
all
is
over the
very
place in
that's a
music.
very Tchaikovsky attitude to have, actually.
Yeah, like I'm not kidding. That is an age-old tradition of classic. Well, yeah, of I mean, you use the term classical music, even though that refers to a specific era. But yeah, composers throughout all the ages. Like, I mean, hell, half of Bach's stuff was turning a melody that somebody else wrote into an entire fucking piece of music.
Yeah, theme and variation. That motherfucker invented that crap. Basically.
How do you accuse a composer of that's crazy.
You know who never gets like plagiarized? People never seem to steal music from Shostakovich. I wonder why.
I'm so lost.
Or John Cage. Nobody ever rips off Cage. Why not? I wonder why. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, anyway. Yeah, welcome to the Chonkwij Podcast. It's another glorious Monday. We missed April Fool's Day on Saturday. Did everybody withdraw all their money from the bank just for that day, for the April Fool's lulz?
What?
So is that why there was a bank run?
Every single goddamn April Fool's Day, some demonstrably retarded asshole on usually Reddit starts this thing. Is just like, oh dude, you should like prank the banks for April Fools. You just withdraw all your money for that day just so we can see if we can collapse the economy.
I mean,
yeah,
you gotta admit that would be funny.
for approximately one day. And the rest of the year. Yeah. Oh well.
I didn't. We didn't mean to completely fuck the economy, but we kind of fucked the economy.
It was funny when everybody bought stock in Blockbuster. Like that was funny. Or what was GameStop. Sorry, GameStop. Blockbuster was fucking a decade and a half ago it happened. That everyone's forgot about that. And that was 4chan.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's a house of cards anyway.
Money isn't real, other sayings.
If a bunch of people decide to withdraw money from their bank account and it causes an economic collapse, your economy wasn't that strong.
Somebody put out a mashup. Half meme. I don't even know what to call it these days, but it was an interview with some guy who's working at the Fed, and he was just like, yeah, your cash is safe, your ATMs are safe, and there's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. And they made a fucking great animation.
How can somebody be that wrong?
Yeah, they made a great animation of an anime girl dancing in front of a whole bunch of guys just churning out dollar bills. Don't you want somebody to love? Yeah, so if you know it, you know it. If you don't, whatever. Go look it up. It's great. What happened? What else happened this week? Oh, let's see. Let's pull up the famed fucking list of articles that we're starting off with. E3 got canceled because nobody gave a shit.
Like, is this forever canceled? Like, they're done? It's not happening ever again?
No.
This was just for this event, but it certainly seems like it with the way things are going. I mean, one of the reasons that they canceled is because a lot of the big players have officially come out and said, like, yeah, we're not going to be there, because they've all started doing their own staged giant events.
One of the things mentioned was that none of the E3 participants, or not a large portion of the E3, usually E3 participants, have playable demos necessary. which I think is a fucking hilarious statement. Because, yeah, you know why you don't have playable demos ready? Because games are broke on release these days. What's a demo, anyway? But yeah, to answer your question, Zero, they didn't say that E3 is off forever. They just failed to mention when the next E3 might be. So they left the door open there for just calling it quits permanently, but we don't know.
Yeah, they haven't announced that it's off forever, but this doesn't sound like something that's going to get better in the future. All these different companies doing their own events, doing online events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The industry doesn't need these big trade shows anymore when you have social media and the internet and just the access that these companies have with their own platforms.
Yeah, Devolver Digital figured this out like a decade ago, where they hosted their own game reveals and everything, and they high studio quality shit. Devolver Digital has some of the most entertaining game reveals and like E3 spots ever available for free on YouTube. Go watch them; they're funny. And yeah, they just sent in the footage to be played at E3. So Omega's absolutely right at the end of this article. It says multiple big names in the industry, say for Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, and most recently Ubisoft, announced that they would not be attending E3 in any capacity because most are opting to host their own digital showcases. So yeah, if you've got a webcam, you've got a green screen, you got a microphone, you can do your own game reveals. You can host your own awards show. You can add in a laugh track if you want to. It's great. It's very wholesome.
Yeah, when E3 started and when E3 was relevant, we didn't have Twitch. We didn't have a platform where every single one of these companies can go ahead and do their own thing how exactly they want it. They don't need to go to a giant trade show to get reporter. I mean, and hell, now there's 1,000 websites on the internet covering gaming news, when before the reason they had these trade shows wasn't for gamers and it wasn't for it was to get the media to actually pay attention to it. That's what these trade shows are all about, is announcing these giant titles in a big, on a big platform. Now they can do it for far cheaper, far easier on Twitch. Why the hell wouldn't you?
Yeah. Plus, there was something to the mystique of getting to, well, okay, years ago, more than a decade ago, 2 decades ago, there was a mystique to going to a convention center and going to all these booths and playing all these demos and like meeting all these gaming nerds and voice actors, maybe, people, it was fun. It was an event to go to. Now, in past years, you only have to look at some of the footage that comes out. People still, went there like 3-4 years ago before COVID. They were going there and they're making their own YouTube videos to, promote their channels and, gaming review YouTube channels and shit like that. It's so heavily commercialized. Everything is trying to sell you something. There's no more. I don't want to bring up Comic-Con because Comic-Con is going roughly the same direction, but there's no more of that, like, let's go there and look at some amazing costumes and, meet some voice actors and get some shit signed. It's just everything. Yeah, you want to meet the guy dressed up like Boba Fett from the new Star Wars game that EA has coming out? That'll be $60 for a photo. You want to get something signed by the voice actor who played, Who's It's? Then, yeah, that'll be another $60 for an autograph. It's just, yeah. I can understand why the appeal goes downhill fast.
I've got a buddy of mine who, when he got divorced, he got a very, very nice settlement.
Spend it all on blowing hookers.
I wish it would have been more productive.
Spend it all on what?
He went to like 6 Comic-Cons back to back and spent he met the cast of Back to the Future, and a picture with the entire cast was like $400. I was like, the hell? I told him, I said,
Michael J. Fox there?
Yes, Michael J. Fox,
Oh my
Christopher
God.
Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd is at everything, by the way. Christopher
yeah,
Lloyd
it's
never
true.
misses a Comic-Con. Yeah, for $60, he'll chew food in your face while he signs your autograph. I've never met the man. I'm sure he's a delight, but everything about him at Comic-Con has been unflattering. That's a tangent. Please continue.
But I mean, he spent all of this money, and it was awful. And I told him, I said, dude, how about this? All the money you spent on that, just cut me a check. Just cut me a check for all the, and I'll spend it properly on hookers and blow. And he was like, yeah, well, all of this stuff's going to be worth money someday, because he's of course got it all framed, and certificates of authenticity and stuff, and pictures with them signing stuff and all of that, which is fine and dandy, but it takes 10-15 years and the actors dying for it to ever gain a semblance of value.
Was Mary Steenburgen there?
Mary Steenburgen, who is she?
She was the teacher in Back to the Future 3.
No, probably not.
She was a fox back in the day. She's still probably a fox.
But yeah, I mean, and you brought it up earlier, Ubisoft. So I've got a bone to pick with Ubisoft anyway, because of their treatment for the game, the Rainbow Six Extraction game. Great game, beautiful concept, great bones to that game. They literally stopped supporting the game, and it was,
yeah, because there were no microtransactions in that game. You couldn't make any fucking money off of it.
Yeah, they could. Oh yeah, dude. All of the 3 events that they did in year 1, they were able to monetize the additional tech that you could get. They had skins for all of the characters, multiple skins for all of the characters in the game.
All right. Well, in that case, then I gotta guess that it's because not enough people were playing it.
And that's exactly it. It's a very niche game. But I liked the PvP, or the PvE team aspect of it was great. It was a fun game. And I happened to get into it way too late. And if there was, when Ubisoft finally announced that they had stopped development like 3 months ago, this was like last month they announced it. They said, we've stopped any and all development for the game. And then when shit started breaking, they weren't even going in and fixing the bugs that were in the game with like the weekly resets, because it was set on algorithm and one of the subzone challenges was causing a bunch of enemies not to spawn. Well, they basically broke the subzone because it was the immortal smasher. You can't kill it, and if nothing else spawns, you can't get anything else. So, people just could not do the weekly reset activity that comes out every single week. So there was like a whole week where the game didn't get played.
As a side note, Immortal Smasher was my penis's nickname in college.
Nice.
So yeah, anyway, I have a beef with Ubisoft just because their games fucking suck, and they decided to release everything through Uplay. Oh, I'm sorry, Ubisoft Connect, because they rebranded it because that made it better, and took shit off Steam. So yeah, I don't care for Ubisoft anymore.
Were you steamed by the experience?
Just slightly, only slightly. Yeah, so before we move off this topic, I just want to say it's IGN's fault that we have the thumbnail on screen that we have right now, because autoplay setting is on. I tried to turn that off, and it told me that I needed an account on IGN to save my autoplay setting. So I tried to go back to the video thumbnail, and I couldn't. So this is what you get. You get Damon Hatfield on screen making his drunk sex face, coming at you at a party, ready to grab your tits.
Oh, God.
This is your fault, IGN. This is your fault, not my fault. Yeah. Fucking whatever. All right. That's a perfect segue into our next article, which is that PC gamers are getting refunds for The Last of Us. Last of Us Part 1, which came out on Steam, or on PC, currently has Steam ratings of mixed. I think, if I remember this article correctly, the number is 43% of reviews are positive, and some of those reviews are just hilariously shitting on the game. The reason for this is that there are bugs. There are fucking bugs everywhere. This is a sloppy port to PC. If you want some entertaining examples of bugs, yeah, I'm just gonna play some from random Reddit threads. So this was disappointing because when this came off on console, it was a great game. It was, I dare say, finished when it came out. But nope. And there's this unfortunate, I think this is a bug. I hope this is a bug for anybody who can see the screen right now. The gentleman in the center of this shot appears to have blackface on. So I'm going to assume that was a bug and that isn't intentional. If it was intentional, it's in very poor taste.
What, they can't Tropic Thunder it?
Never go full Tropic Thunder. And then I'm just going to play this theme because this one scene, one dialogue scene people have been reporting, all of a sudden characters get wet. Like they're inside of a house talking, and all of a sudden they're just soaking wet with fucking rain coming. I think it's supposed to be that they're outside in the rain. The game is registering them as outside in a rainstorm, but I just like to think that everyone is in a really hot room and they're getting very sweaty. They're so sweaty. It's just dripping off. Sweat is flying off of Joel. Yeah, suddenly moisture. Yeah, just look at there's so much moisture everywhere. Everybody's sweaty. Oh my god, it's dripping off everyone. Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus.
Mother of... Wait, hang on.
There you go. Play it.
Oh my god.
There you go. I am going to regret adding sounds to the soundboard. And I'm not done yet either. We got more slots.
I was going to say, we've only got 6 on there so far. I'm kind of disappointed there aren't more.
How many slots are there total on the channel?
I think 24 or 25 total slots. And we're using 6.
That is very generous of Discord to...
Well, that's because we're boosted to tier 1, and this is where we say hi to future Leetness. Hi, how you doing, Leetness? Hope you're having a good day at work.
Hi, Leetness. Thank you for coming to D&D yesterday.
Hello
Yeah.
there.
What is the
A rare
what is the
appearance.
default number?
0, I would guess. I don't
Hang
know.
on,
I can't see that.
Hang on, I can tell you.
Okay. Yeah. You got a server that is probably not boosted. I don't know.
It is barren.
Yeah, I can check by, but I don't know even where to look for how to set that up.
Much like my field of fucks, it is barren.
Oh, see, that's nice. Yeah, it's upper left in server settings. There's a whole fucking tab for it now. There's a whole selection, or there's a whole tab for adding things to soundboard.
Stickers.
It says soundboard if it's available. It'll just say soundboard.
Yeah, it says there's no. It is not. My server is not boosted, and therefore I do not have access to add soundboard sounds. So apparently, you have to have at least 1 boost.
This is a premium feature.
There you go.
Let me check one of my servers. I'm actually fully boosted because people like me for some fucked up reason.
Oh, look at Miss Popular over there, guys. Fully boosted server. I bet that's nice. Streaming 1080p video at 60 frames per second. I'm not jealous. You're jealous.
Yeah, level 1 server boost is 16 soundboard slots for a total of 24. So apparently you get 8 to begin with.
I figured out that if I wanted to boost my server we wanted to boost Chonkwij to level 2, I would need to pay $25 a month. And that's fucking obscene. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm totally cheap. this thing that I use every single day that I use to communicate with my friends that's fucking free that we can use voice and video over. I don't want to pay any money for it.
I mean, to
I
be
have a
fair,
real problem.
we also don't need it. Like, if we were managing a community that was like actually something that we had monetized in one way or another, if we were YouTubers, if we were streamers, had a community, whatever, then it might be worth the $25. But I don't know, what the fuck do we need half those features for?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
my WoW community that I'm part of is fully boosted, and yeah, it is. They've got level 3, and it's just
Yeah,
insane.
level 3 is nuts. It's absolutely a delight to play with, and I'm just happy that it's actually, the server I have is less than 50 people. I think right around 50 people, but they're all RPG nerds, and they have nothing better to do with their boosting, so they did it to our server. Apparently, fully boosted level 3 server is 48 sounds.
That's it's a menagerie of sounds. Thank you,
That's a lot of
Kosen.
noise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's too many.
It's
But it's role specific. I can deny people the ability to use the soundboard. I'm pretty sure. I think I saw that yesterday. But anyway, yeah, to answer your question, Omega, why do we need all that? We don't need all that, because we definitely don't. Somewhere in the world right now, Fluffy is screaming towards the sky, being like, because more stickers. More stickers, more sounds.
Then Fluffy can cough up $25.
Oh, that's a good
Something
point.
tells me that Fluffy is a millionaire, and he's just not telling any of us. He is secretly a millionaire, and he just keeps us around for the giggles.
See, I have these.
Certainly a theory.
I've always envisioned Fluffy as living in, like, I basically envision him as the Unabomber.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he's Kaczynskiing it up out in the middle of a shack, and just occasionally has Wi-Fi access to come on here and shitpost, and his internet access is so sketchy that he can barely ever be in voice.
Yeah, well, the only time he comes in voice is the rare times that the voices in his head tell him it's okay too.
Yeah, you see, that also makes sense.
Also, he's not just a millionaire; he's an eccentric millionaire.
Yeah, he keeps his urine in jars scattered around the house. He thinks that it protects him from the microwaves that are being sent to Earth by the aliens. And he also thinks it's very disrespectful that we're shooting down their UFOs and claiming that they're weather balloons.
Okay.
This is not, we are making jokes here. None of this is serious. None of us actually believe the weather balloons are alien. It doesn't matter. Kids are stupid these days. Yeah, sure, they're aliens. Whatever. I forgot you live in West Virginia. Anyway, it's all fine for The Last of Us because Naughty Dog has apologized to The Last of Us players on PC, and the studio has promised that a hotfix will arrive on Tuesday. That'll be tomorrow for us, today if you're listening. And yeah, they're putting out a hotfix to try and do damage control.
Good for them.
Yeah, they're trying to put out patches because, as Omega pointed out the other day, the game is doing so badly. It's having a Cyberpunk 2077 level shit of launch, and people are getting refunds on the game after the 2 hours of gameplay has elapsed, which is nearly unheard of on Steam.
Well,
But it's
Steam
that
has
bad.
always been like willing, because like it's never been like hard and fast. I've gotten a few beyond my 2 hours, and I've when I was looking on the Reddit thread where I saw people talking about this game getting it, other people were mentioning the same. But like, what really makes this a Cyberpunk level fuck up is the fact that like they've announced that they're giving refunds beyond the 2 hour period. Not just that they're doing it, but that they're like publicly saying, "Hey guys, this was bad. We're yeah." The platform is publicly saying that they're gonna make an exception to their rules.
Yeah. If you want to go on YouTube and see some hilarious glitches, I did come across a rather lengthy video of just a conglomerate, much like when Cyberpunk was released, a montage of entertaining glitches, complete with sound effects, goofy sound effects, and wacky music. Yeah, a little bit of Benny Hill with people glitching in and out of doors.
Benny Hill the shit out of this.
Oh, and then the Inception theme when Joel is crouched behind a dumpster, and then you pan the screen to look behind him, and there's just a giant wall of pink polygons that should obviously not be there.
Whoa.
My favorite thing about my favorite thing about Steam making this exception to their refund policy is that, like, this isn't a bunch of customers going into the review section and saying this game sucks. This is another company saying, sorry guys, this game sucks.
They're sorry.
So, like, Steam has QC. I know from
Steam
games
does.
that we have played that, you know, at various levels of indie studios, where they talk about, like, games have to go through cert whenever they get sent. So, you know, what the fuck, Steam? Why didn't you guys, like, I don't know. Makes you wonder if these games from the big studios, they're just like, all right, we're just gonna fucking go for it and see what the fuck happens.
Right. Yeah, I want to say that is because Steam saw The Last of Us Part 1 coming to PC and Naughty Dog offering it to them to put on their store, and dollar signs appeared in their eyes, and they were like, okay. And they just forgot.
Yeah. This isn't some tiny indie publisher. This is we'll take the money.
This isn't someone who might be trying to scam Steam or use Steam to perpetuate a scam. This is a AAA, or not a AAA. This is a major studio.
Yeah, I mean, and even so, when you think about it, you know, not everybody's going to return the game, so Steam is still making some money.
Yeah. What is it? Steam gets like, what, 30%, generally speaking?
I think that's their cut.
Yeah, I think that's still it, too.
That's their highly publicized number from all the hubbub against Epic.
From the long, long ago.
Yeah.
In the way back times.
Yeah, whatever happened to all that? That kind of all just calmed down. Are we in, like, the place between lawsuits? Or between court hearings?
No, reality caught up with everyone, and they realized that they didn't give a shit, so yeah, we just moved on.
Yeah, it ended up just not making a dent in Steam.
Yeah. Gabe got a phone call, and somebody was just like, so, yeah, we're pretty sure it's done. And he's like, what's done? And that was the end of that.
He said, what's done? Wait, there's less money in my bank account. Hang on.
No, yeah, fat chance.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure the money that was taken from him, or taken from Steam in the case of any lawsuit, was like a rounding error in their bank account. I'm sure it was not substantial enough to make them go, oh no. It was legitimately probably a rounding error.
Was there a lawsuit, Steam v Epic? I don't think there was. I think it was just a whole bunch of mudslinging back and forth, being like, yeah, come buy games on the Epic Store. We only take 7% of the cut or something like, or 10% of the cut. And Steam is 30%, and so they slung mud back and forth. And meanwhile, GOG was standing in the corner like a party cuck, just being like, I don't take anything from the developer.
Yeah, no, the court stuff was between
Apple v Epic.
Apple and Epic.
We remember how that one ended. That one ended with us laughing our asses off, and neither Apple nor Epic winning. they both got. They both got castrated in their own special ways. Yeah, it was a rare win for the consumer. Gosh, that was great. So anyway,
I'm still waiting on this whole buyout of ActiBliz to occur, because apparently
that stalled
there
for like a year. That's in court. That's all tied up in court now.
apparently there is a released recording of Bobby Kotick losing his shit in the middle of a meeting and screaming at people because of the whole Blizzard ActiBliz acquisition thing, and Blizzard is trying to walk the fuck away from Activision, which I think would be smart of Blizzard to walk the fuck away from Activision, and I will stand by that statement until the day that I die, which, given my size, is not far off. No, I'm kidding.
Shit, no, Zero. I think that was a year ago, January 21st, 2022. Bobby Kotick reportedly turned up late and left early from a fireside chat meeting.
No, this was more recent. I thought I saw this recently. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, let me check.
I may be wrong, but
I'm not exactly sure what to Google here, so I started off with Bobby Kotick screaming meeting. Apparently he has a long history of saying really awful shit.
yeah, the dirty breakup. Bobby Kotick's boardroom fight leaked. This was 4 days ago. Bellular News. He's one of the guys that I follow. On
Oh,
YouTube.
I found it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, I found it. Oh, it made it to the top of Asmongold's subreddit 4 days ago. That's where I go for my news.
Yeah, Asmongold. Yeah, that's a fucking great place to go. It's where dreams and hope go to die.
Do you want to listen to a guy who's not terribly smart talk about things that should probably be talked about by smart people? Asmongold. Nah, he's a fun guy.
He's all right.
We like to make fun, but he seems
nice enough.
He seems that way. I don't know him. I never met him.
Well, according
to
what like I'd pay for a beer. You know, I'd buy him a beer or four just to see how drunk he gets.
I don't know if I'd buy him a beer, but I'd invite him to a barbecue at my house. I'd try to put meat in his mouth.
Smoked meat.
Any kind of meat. It's all good, as long as you can get as much of it as possible into your mouth at once. This has the potential to go downhill real fast. Has it already gone downhill real fast? Sorry. Yeah,
it's already gone downhill.
Yeah. So how about that wrestling?
No, last night after WrestleMania went off the air, in fact, I think it was during WrestleMania, they announced that the WWE is being purchased by Endeavor.
Yeah, the rumors leaked right before WrestleMania, and then this morning the news became official.
So for Masami and I, I'm sorry, Masami, I'm speaking for you. For Masami and I, what the hell is Endeavor? Why the hell does anyone care that happened?
So Endeavor is the company that owns the UFC currently. This would mean that the same company that owns the UFC now owns the WWE.
I mean, Endeavor's even bigger than that. Endeavor is a company it's a talent agency. It's one of the main talent agencies in Hollywood. It's run by Ari Emanuel, and a name anybody who's like big into Hollywood pop culture and stuff, I'm sure would be familiar with. He's the guy that the show Entourage is based off of. and they're a massive company. They bought UFC for like $4 billion, however many years ago, and now they've bought WWE, and they're going to combine the two into a new spin-off company. So Endeavor will be the parent company of a new company that is a combination of WWE and the UFC.
So my question is, when does one, all, or the split off, or the spin-off rather, of any of those companies partner with SpaceX to put a wrestling rink in orbit or on the moon or on Mars so that they can start the SWE, the Solar Wrestling Entertainment Company?
I just like that you called it a wrestling rink.
Yeah.
It made
It's
me
where-
giggle a little.
They've got, you can put ice
enjoy
on them. You can put ice on them, right? In like the summertime when nobody's wrestling, or the
I
wintertime.
mean, honestly, that would be a fun twist in the grand scheme of things.
It would be.
You go out for a cage match and they're all slipping.
Listen,
It's
with some of the
going
fucking
nice.
gimmicks, with some of the gimmicks that they have in wrestling, that would not be the most outlandish.
You just
mean,
give them hockey sticks, not to hit pucks or goals, just to beat each other with.
Yeah, I mean, they use kendo sticks all the fucking time. Why not hockey sticks? That'd be great.
So,
Right now, we're just talking like, okay, the WWE just needs to have like an outdoor winter event, like they have like the hockey classic outdoor, that one outdoor game a year. WWE needs to do a winter outdoor event on an iced over rink, and just like get an ice rink in the middle and drill some holes in it, put some rings and ropes, put some ring posts and string up the ropes, and have a whole event on ice with hockey sticks and everything, and everybody will die.
talk about injuries, man. There were injuries last night.
Dude, a guy
Last
got
night,
staples in his head in
ringside.
the ring, in the middle of a match.
Yeah, that was after D&D was over. That was the match that we started watching, the Edge Finn Balor match. When he took that ladder to the head, it caused what would you say, about a 4.5 to 6 inch
It was a good
gash?
6-inch gash that went like right at his hairline, about halfway up the back of his head.
Would you
And,
say that it
like,
was a harsh gash?
Yes,
it was a pretty harsh gash.
it was a harsh gash.
Sorry, I had to jump in there before Masami could do it.
But
So-
it was hilarious. He put a picture up on social media after the event. It was fucking gnarly. But yeah, they like paused in the middle of the match, and like the referee was like, wait, hold on, we gotta call it that. Yeah, they made it work in the fiction, and they had the doctor come out and literally like inject a numbing agent and a coagulant and stick a staple in his fucking head, and then they continued the match.
Which is the most amazing part of that. And it's like I told Omega earlier today when we were talking about this. That is not the first time that Finn Balor has done that. He did that shit all the time when he was in New Japan. He would get injured mid-match, blood just pouring, and he would keep going and keep going and keep going. And he would just he's and Omega brought up the point, I say he's built different, but there are people in the past like Terry Funk, who is the reason why the WWE has a no blading policy now. Mick Foley, Sabu, Sandman, the entire ECW roster. That
Didn't
just
Stone Cold Steve Austin try to kill someone with a beer can once?
I mean, he smashed quite a few people over the head with a beer can, including Pat McAfee. But it was just it said something because, like Omega said as well, it says something about Edge too, because Edge gave them the time and played it off like nothing was happening. Like he was just continuing the storyline.
Yeah, like he was, like they played the fiction. These guys are pros. He, was mad that he couldn't keep beating the shit out of him. And so then while he, backed away, this was a no disqualification match. So it was full of weapons and various things. So while the doctor came out to put a staple in his fucking head, Edge went ringside and like grabbed another 10 kendo sticks, threw him in the ring, and grabbed a couple chairs, and then grabbed some tables. He was still moving around doing the work. And yeah, it's there's been, I used to be a big wrestling fan, like diehard 0 level wrestling fan. When I was in middle school,
0 level.
Yeah, like I used to be into it. I was a mark, full on. And then I fell out of it, and I would kind of pay attention. And I think, I don't know, Zero might agree with me, he might not, but I would say there's a good like 10 years between those days and now. There's a good chunk of time where it kind of sucked.
Oh no, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Right after the WCW buyout, there was
And,
it was a good decade and a half.
well, no, right after the buyout, it was still good for a while. I mean, there was still some time, because I watched through that for another couple of years. But it was once all of those Attitude Era stars were gone that like the wheels kind of fell off, and the wrestling was bad, the stories were bad. It was just not great. But I feel like, I've started watching it again lately with Zero, and I feel like it's on the upswing again. And deals like this buyout shows that certainly they're doing well.
And we were Omega and I were talking today, and the buyout's good. And then he started posting stuff from the Squared Circle Reddit that had me fucking rolling, dude. I was lucky I was not on a phone call at work when you sent me over the conspiracy theory about the betting. And I sent that to my friends, and they all started dying. They were like, "How? How can people bet on professional wrestling? It's predetermined." And I was like,
Yeah, but people bet on Oscars and shit, and that's been
Yeah.
written down. The winner of that's been written down before the card's been read.
"Oh yeah."
So like that doesn't, what you're betting on is you're betting on the storyline that the writers want to write.
Yeah.
And if people want like to bet on things, and it's I personally have a bit of a problem with how widespread betting has become. And I mean, I don't have a problem with the existence of betting. I have a problem with the fact that like literally every single podcast and YouTube channel and sports related show and sports league and team, and just everything is being so inundated with gambling ads everywhere. And I don't know. Like, I get that people love to gamble with sports, and I understand it, and I've enjoyed it myself. But like, it is being just absolutely forced down everyone's throats right now.
But yeah.
There's an entire level of comedy that I am not prepared to wade through right now regarding sports betting. But I might be getting into it. Suffice to say, I might be getting into sports betting. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a let's see. So that's wrestling. Yay. Good on everybody for talking about wrestling. It was entertaining to see big, shirtless, sweaty men with huge muscles. Just thinking about it makes me moist. It was good. It was a fun time.
Makes you damp?
No,
It
damn.
does.
Moist.
Oh, it does. Yeah, but after I'm moist, I'm left damp.
Which is not good. So you go from being good to not good.
Yeah, that's when you put damp clothes in the laundry hamper.
That's what happens when you try to give me negative 10 points on a pun today, Zero. This is what you get.
He did what?
Okay,
Yeah, he got
so
me negative 10 points.
for context, she sent me a TikTok that was about it was a video of a man in Virginia who walked into a Walmart in a very nice suit and just bought a shovel and then walked out. And I said, there's one of three things that is happening here. He lives in Northern Virginia and he's going to hide a body because he works for the federal government. He lives in Norfolk and he's going to hide a body because he works for the military. Or he lives in Southwest Virginia and he's going to hide a body because a guy screwed over his daughter. And she goes, well, I was just hoping you would give me brownie points for getting where you're from correct. And I was like, oh, no. +5 brownie points for that. And then she sent me a pun and I was like, you know what? That -10 points. 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
And then I sent him another pun where you give me +5, so I broke even on the day.
Yep. So she broke even on the day. She's back to a net zero.
All right, you broke even.
Just like you.
Yep, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is that the federal government nor the military buy their shovels at Walmart. They have requisition offices for that.
God fucking damn it!
I mean, they buy it from the same suppliers as Walmart. They just pay 15 times as much because that's how government contracts work.
Yep.
You think a hammer costs $50? You think you're paying $300 for a toilet seat? Independence Day references.
Thank you. So good.
So it's been a great week for city builders. I'm just gonna go through this briefly because I fucking love city builders. There are 3 that are coming out or that have come out by this time. One of them is called Terrascape, which is from Bitfall Studios. It looks really pretty. It looks interesting in its procedural world generation. It procedurally generates a floating map. So you are basically populating a continent in the sky. It's very pretty. It uses a card mechanic. So you play cards on tiles to develop them into whatever buildings you're interested in building. I think that's kind of neat. I'd like to check it out. There's another one called Grimgrad. I think it's called Grimgrad. Yeah, Grimgrad. It looks an awful lot like Banished, but here's the thing. I've been waiting for a long time for some Banished 2 is never happening. Luke Hordwitz, or however you pronounce his last name, has made that very clear. A close successor to Banished was Life is Feudal. There was more to that title, but whatever. That game is a fucking broke mess, and it's out of development. The devs just completely goddamn abandoned it because there was a critical flaw in their map generation code. So you would get black holes at certain coordinates, which means if you built there, the game would crash. If you somehow managed, or if you had already built somewhere and a black hole developed and a citizen walked there, the game would crash. Complete goddamn mess. So I've been looking for something to come out, and Grimgrad seems like it might be close to that, or at least it has the potential to be like that, except for it is a grid-based city builder. And the last one is kind of just goofy. Not the last one. The next one is kind of goofy. It's Necro City. So you are building. It's an action-oriented tower defense type game, more than it is a city builder. But it is a city builder, and you have to defend your undead minions from threats from the outside world. It looks kind of goofy, but it looks fun. And the last one is Forests, Fields, and Fortresses, which looks like a Dwarf Fortress-esque clone, just graphics-wise. And it is, again, it's goofy. It's a nice city builder. So yeah, if you like creating things, there's some nice games that are coming out very recently if they haven't already released by now. I like city builders.
I saw that article and I was like, oh, this will give Doc a chance to talk about something after we talk about wrestling. Or before we talk about wrestling. As long as Doc gets to talk about city builders.
I do. I like city builders. The City Skylines 2 is still supposed to come out. I think in June or July or something like that. I'm not holding my breath.
I started playing the recent free game from Epic, Warhammer 40K. Was it Gladius?
Oh, one that I have not played, I don't think.
It's basically a bad version of Civ.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's all it is. It's just a bad 4X game. Or
Yeah, you know,
whatever,
ever since
wherever Civ fits in between 4X and whatever else,
ever since Henry Cavill announced that he was going to be doing a Warhammer project, I've noticed an uptick in Warhammer memes and just general attention to the already existing properties that are out there. And I'm not disappointed by that. I'm not annoyed by it. I kind of love it because, yeah. But anyway, it should be said that I own a fair number of Warhammer games on Steam, and not all of them are great. Some of them are fantastic, but not all.
This one is basically like a stripped down version of Civ. The base game I got for free. It's got $100 worth of add-on units and races and et cetera. But there's no story. It's just purely like a PV. Yeah, I mean, player versus computer players, sure, but it's just on a map, have fun, and it's just a bad version of Civ, and it was fun for the one game that I played, and I don't see myself playing any more than that.
Yeah, that was my attitude towards Vermintide.
Like, I played the free tutorial, like the beginner tutorial, which was like one opponent on the easiest difficulty. And I was like, all right, I totally have a feel for what this game is, and that was fun, and I'm done.
But it was a free game on Epic.
Yep.
So yeah, so everybody can go check it out and potentially be horribly disappointed.
Yeah,
Oh well.
we wife and I went out to the mall this past weekend, and I saw something that I haven't seen in forever. Every time I go to Barnes and Noble, I go to the D&D section, as you do.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's tradition.
I was, looking there, and I was like, okay, they've got the D&D section, then they've got Pathfinder and Warhammer, and all of a sudden I look, and something I haven't seen in forever in any role-playing section, BattleTech. I was like, what in the world? It has been forever since I have seen BattleTech tabletop stuff.
Yeah, that tabletop box set's been out for a few years, but probably hasn't made its way into Barnes and Noble until just recently, because they're just starting to diversify now that D&D has kind of hit a bit of a slide. But I've got a friend who has it. We were going to play it when we were down in Florida, but it didn't happen because we were doing other things. Because apparently, nerds like to be social with each other, but no one else. So figure that one out.
Yeah,
I think that's a holdover from when we were in school. And like you could only hang out with your nerd friends if you didn't want to get bullied by everybody else who thought that Warhammer, D&D, Lord of the Rings, anything science fiction based was for nerds and worthy of mockery. That's the school I grew up in anyway.
No, nerd shit became cool somewhere in the last couple decades.
Yeah, it did. That's why fucking Star Trek got ruined. Because all of a sudden, sci-fi was no longer the domain of nerds. It was the domain of like, oh, dude. It was the guy dude bros that got into sci-fi. Probably because they finally figured out that chicks think nerds are hot. And they were just like...
It's not even guy dude bros. It's just the general... Like, it's just the lowest common denominator. It's just, we're no longer making this for nerds. We're making this for ratings. As many people as we can get to watch it.
It's probably a better explanation.
It's, very watered down.
Oh, Masami, what do you think, as long as we're on the topic of nerd shit, you use D&D Beyond a fair bit.
Yep.
What's... So you have physical copies of many D&D products, books, and if you want to use D&D Beyond, because they're not operated by Wizard of the Coast, they're operated by, what is it, Cursed is the name of the company?
Oh no, Wizards now, like, I don't know if Wizards owns it directly, but like the people who own Wizards own D&D Beyond now. Like they're not like fully
Hasbro?
integrated.
No,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's owned by it's like a subsidiary of
yeah, it's
D&D
something.
at this point.
Yeah, it got
Okay.
bought.
It is the official online like character building app of
Yes.
D&D.
Right. Okay. So regardless, where I was going with the question was owning physical books and then using D&D Beyond, having to purchase content again. As far as I know, that's still how the system works, so that you can use it in a digital format with the D&D character or D&D Beyond character builder and all the rest of that. How is that model evolving? And if it is, how do you feel about it? How do you feel it's going? If it isn't, how do you think it should? Or are you fine with just buying basically 2 copies of everything?
Well, so there's a couple of points here. Some people just absolutely abhor the whole thing. I will say that I have seen a movement towards, like, if you buy the physical book through like the D&D website, they will give you a code for, I don't think it's for free. I think maybe it's like 50%. I don't remember. I remember I was on the website at some point in time, and some of the new books that are coming out, they're starting to offer codes to also get the content on D&D Beyond, whether it's free or half price or some discount. I don't remember at this point in time, but they're kind of moving towards that, which I think is a good thing, because they'll inevitably get a bit more adoption. I will say, though, before they did this move, I didn't mind it too much because they piecemeal the content out. Like, all the monsters you can buy, all the special item or the magical items, you can buy all the spells, the races, they like subdivide the sections out. So if you just need the functionality for the online sheet, you can buy just that part, and it's usually like maybe a couple of dollars, or it's usually something fairly affordable, which is pretty nice. And if you do go back and decide you want the book, you don't have to, like, they reduce the price of the book by what you've already bought. So they actually do it fairly intelligently, I think, to make it as painless as possible for those of us who prefer reading the book but love the online functionality, especially if most of our tables, quote unquote, are virtual, and so we're using the virtual tool. So I know it bothers some people, but I'm fairly satisfied with how they've made it not quite so painful from a consumer level to actually do both, so to speak. Now, I'm coming from a place where I have a good job. I'm not quite the poor gamer I used to be in college. That might bother me in a, if I was still back in that sense. But from my current perspective, I don't mind giving them money for stuff. Someone spent time to code the shit. Like, the coders deserve to get paid. Yes, I might be paying 2 places for it, but I'm paying essentially, and I'm not going to get into the whole, like, there's a capitalistic hellscape perspective where, like, most of the money is going to Hasbro, not the actual people. But in a nice world where there were coders that coded the bits that you buy on the digital part, and there's writers who came up with the physical stuff, they're all kind of getting paid for their contribution, probably shittily, but they're still getting paid in a way. And I know a lot of people want to make sure that those people in the gaming industry do get paid. So
Right. Yeah. Creatives tend to not get paid terribly well, and I count coders. I count a lot of coders as being creatives because they are artists of their own right.
Wizards, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just curious how that system is evolving. now in D&D Beyond, because obviously there have been a lot of changes over the past months, year at this point, and I'm not up to date with it. So thank you.
I will definitely say, looking at the books, the physical copies of like the I think it's the most recent, the Adventures or the Odyssey of Theros, that just came out. I guess did it just come out, or it's not been out very long?
That's
Theros
for a few years.
Theros is like
Okay.
4 or 5 years old by now.
Okay, well, I'm behind. So these books had not been on the shelf at Barnes and Noble. I know that I hadn't seen them there before because it's one that I looked through and I was like, this does not look at all familiar to me. But so it's new to me. And some of the content that was in there is like, okay, it's great. I'm definitely going to probably buy this because I would not mind running a small campaign out of that book, and it's already got the maps drawn up in it, so all I have to do is just go in and transition them and make them inside of Foundry. And that helps me a lot because I'm as creative as I can be. I'm not very good at the world building aspect of D&D. I'm just not. I need the help of the book. So
Yeah.
the digital copies are nice. The digital copies are nice because I can just easily transpose stuff. The physical copies are good because I can, if I'm running a digital game, I can have the book open next to me while I'm doing stuff on the screen, and I don't have to have a separate page open on top of what I've already got running.
Yeah, the real problem is like with digital. Digital's great because I mean changes happen, things get updated, all sorts of change, like different editions. It's just you have a digital copy, it'll always be upgraded. But you can't replicate having 4 books open to different chapters when you're building a character. Like, yeah, you can have different windows open, but you get lost in that. There's something about having your your player's handbook and having your this book and that book and this book laid out in front of you that it's just not the same with digital copies.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a tangible quality to literature that will never be replaced, because I do this frequently as well. If I am writing something and I am citing sources, I can easily find those sources very quickly, especially because I can remember text, or I have the text noted down, so I can find it very easily, very quickly through usually Google Books. And I can skim through, the pages of whatever source I'm citing, and I can remember, oh yeah, that's right, this adds to that, oh, this that. But the physical copies of the history books that I have, I am never fucking getting rid of, because yeah, it is as Omega says, there is something about being able to flip a book. I know the books. It's not just the physical, the tactile sensation of it, and reading something that I'm holding. I know where things are in my books. Yeah. So it's easier for me to find them than it is to press Control F and try to remember, or type in like a sentence and then go through 80 different results to try and figure out which page has the reference I'm looking for.
And I mean, even beyond that, it's just like it's a real pain in the ass scrolling through 150-page PDF. You know what's not a pain in the ass? Flipping through a book.
No, it's not a pain in the ass at all. Flip through a book. Although I'm guilty in both cases. Sometimes a PDF of a book will come across that's actually well done, and it will have a table of contents, and the table of contents will actually link to sections within the PDF document. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, spot on.
Yeah, I don't like paying a whole lot for a PDF if I have the physical copy, but there is a part of me that it really enjoys Control F when I'm desperately looking for something fast. So It's basically
Yep.
what price am I willing to pay to be able to control F and probably find this? Because the Adobe search actually pretty good as long as the PDF is coded right, and only the really old ones that are like photocopies of books and not actually properly like loaded in, and so
Right.
not
Yeah.
searchable.
Where Acrobat had to guess what
Yeah.
the letters were to transcribe it into plain text. Yeah. Man. What's that you got there? It's a book? That's weird. What's that? It's like the internet, but it's made of trees.
See, what I will say, D&D Beyond is definitely better than PDFs. Like,
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah.
I enjoy using D&D Beyond. I mean, it's great for me when I am playing Kevlin. I have a class feature that lets me literally every day pick a different spell from the entire schools of necromancy and divination. And literally every session I would be going to D&D Beyond the spells page, and okay, so sort by necromancy and evocation and divination, sort by levels 1 through 5. Done. Okay, here's a list of just the spells that I can pick. And that is so fucking convenient, and you can't duplicate with that with a book, and you can't duplicate that with a PDF.
I can duplicate that with my fucking autistic mind. with a real book. I can't tell you what any of the spell, or if I actually tried to read the entire spell list. I'm pretty sure I've never actually tried to do that because I've never had a character that could use that had prepared spells. Never built a character like that. But yeah. God damn. Okay, the last thing on the docket is that Asus is making its own handheld gaming PC to compete with the Steam Deck because that worked out so well for Google.
Oh.
It's stipulated several times in this article that no, this is not an April Fool's joke. So, off to a great start. It's going to be called the ROG Ally, Republic of Gamer, I assume Ally, and it will try to compete with the Steam Deck. I have no idea. It runs on Windows 11. And I think it was made, it was made in conjunction with AMD. So, it's got everything going for it right now. I am just not 100% sure how this will work. Are you going to be able to install Steam on it and play Steam games on the ROG Ally? Or is it going to have its own built-in software? Or is it just going to operate basically like a laptop with Windows 11 on it where you can do whatever the fuck you want?
I mean, I imagine they'll have a custom OS that'll just have Steam on it, like maybe even their own build of a Steam app that they work with. I don't know. Steam probably won't work with them on that.
No, it specifically says, according to Asus, the Ally runs on Windows 11 and carries a customized APU developed by Asus and AMD.
Yeah,
So it's Windows 11 based.
Well, yeah, it's Windows 11 based, but that's, that doesn't mean that they're not going to put, shit on top of it. Like Amazon Kindle products are
True.
Android based, but they don't look like an Android. Yeah, it'll be Windows under the hood, but you'll be dealing with a like, how when you can go into Steam and put it into whatever they call it, TV mode or whatever.
Oh,
it'll be
yeah,
something
big screen.
like that. Yeah, it'll be something like that where it'll be a custom built interface for the platform that is based on Windows under the hood. So there's no reason. I mean, if it is just Windows under the hood, I suppose there's no reason you couldn't just install Steam on it.
Essentially, Asus is designing an LS swapped Chevy S10. You're welcome.
Yeah, big nice middle finger. Big nice middle finger to the Steam Deck. Yeah. I appreciate that.
What is the core OS of the Steam Deck based on?
Wow, that's a good question.
So it's Steam OS.
They did,
Linux.
So it's based off what
it's a
Linux
Linux distro developed by it is a Linux distro developed by Valve. So it's a Unix. It's in the family of Unix-like Linux distributions.
Arch Linux. Okay, Arch or Arc Linux, depending on how big a nerd you are. So yeah, it is Unix-like. Cool. Did not know that. Can I put Ubuntu onto Steam Deck? This is not recommended. That doesn't. I'm not hearing a no.
That's not a no.
That's not a
If you use Arch Linux, yeah. No, I don't know. That is actually an interesting. Yeah, you could probably put Debian on there if you wanted to. Whatever.
I mean, hell, at the end of the day, it's computer hardware under the hood. You can fucking put Mac OS on there if you wanted to, I'm sure.
This is something that the current generation has lost perspective on. Electronics, all machinery does not exist to fulfill a factory-determined function. It exists so that you can tell it what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. Like, if you have that hardware, you can do whatever you want with that hardware. You can go ahead and put whatever operating system you want on there. Will it be good? That's a different question.
You might fucking break it.
Goddamn right, you can do it, but that's your choice. That's your prerogative.
You know what? And
that's a different question.
Really super fucking helpful thing to learn by. Eventually you're gonna, if you go down this route, you're gonna learn an awful lot about hardware. It's gonna be fucking fantastic for the rest of your life. You're gonna just look at equipment and be like, hey, I bet that I can get it to do X and X and Y. You're gonna brick some stuff along the way. Unavoidable. Really tragic, sad. You'll have micro funerals, or you will literally put things in the microwave because you hate them. But you will learn. You will be better for it. So yeah, start taking your toasters apart. Oh, put AOL CDs in the microwave.
Yeah.
And watch them spiderweb.
We used to do that in college.
We did, yeah. We microwaved a couple CDs in college.
I had a micro fridge.
You did. Oh my god.
Excuse me?
It's a mini fridge with a microwave bolted to the top of it. Sold as
Nice.
a single unit
Omega
on a
owned
single plug circuit.
You owned that, right? Did you buy that,
Yeah.
or was that
You could rent them. You could rent them from a company that would have them delivered to your dorm room, or you could just buy the fucking thing for like the cost of a year and a half worth of renting it. So I just bought the fucking thing.
And then if you bought that and you provided that, then I must have been paying for internet.
I don't remember the specifics.
We split like most of that shit, if not all of it. What else was there to pay for besides like internet service and the micro fridge? Yeah. Also, yeah, we went to college long ago enough that the college offered like tiers of internet subscriptions, so you could buy like the bronze package, the silver package, or the gold package, and the difference was that they capped your speeds, except if you knew how to, they must have been using some sort of external service to determine what kind of internet that you had. Like it wasn't tied into the actual pipe that you were using for internet. You were using that route, but there was something along the way that determined what subscription level you had based on what IP you had in your local subnet, and that's what limited you. So some fucking how, and I don't know how I did this, I used a piece of garbage software called Peer Guardian to identify whatever our college ISP's IP range was, and I just went through all the IP addresses, and I discovered which one it was that, if I blocked it, didn't know that I was using bronze. So we had gold speeds because I was blocking a particular IP address. I think that's what I did. That was a fucking ghetto-ass service. Like, how they set that up is still beyond me. It was unlike any network I had ever seen before in my life. So somebody just spaghetti stringed that whole thing together. Man, that was weird. Those are the Wild West times of the internet.
No. Now that you're an adult, you have to make the same choice about your internet speeds, but there's only one choice. Highest tier possible. Unlocking your own personal equipment so that you get more.
No, I'll tell you, today larger companies are using much better systems that can't be circumvented with such garbage software. Pure Guardian really was awful. Jesus Christ, I can't believe people thought that protected them from, like, torrenting. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Okay, so yeah, that's the end. We've been going for a while. It's time to call it. The zombie's almost ready to turn into a pumpkin.
What are we gonna call it though?
What did we even talk about? How do we even fucking start this shit? Oh, yeah, the Last of Us and E3.
The Last of Us endeavoring for a better E3.
I was also thinking, like, just abbreviate, because E3 is like an abbreviation itself, so just abbreviating everything. So E3. think of an elaborate title, Masami, and I'll just choose the first. I'll abbreviate everything. E3 not to happen this year, citing poor attendance. And it's just a string of letters.
Make it look like it's could be a password of some sort.
I saw the worst bumper sticker that I think I've ever seen today, and it was my ATM pin is the last 4 digits of pi.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. It's funny even, but I'm gonna have to ask you to stop.
Yeah.
Fucker.
I had the sudden compulsion to just start repeatedly punching myself in the dick. just to relocate the pain to a different spot in my body. All right, so yeah, GG's everybody. We're we'll be back same time, same next week. Penis. Fuck Putin. Fuck Winnie the Pooh.
Fuck Putin.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.